All right, let's talk about AI. We gather here today, as we do most Sundays, in the spirit of curiosity, reflection, and shared exploration. As Unitarian Universalists, we seek truth wherever it may be found, and today we turn our attention to arguably one of the most profound developments of our time, artificial intelligence. As you use, our search compels us to grapple with the implications of AI, not with fear, but with curiosity and a commitment to our principles. How will AI impact our faith? Will it reshape spirituality? Will it challenge our understanding of the divine or create new ways to seek truth and meaning? Well, let's take a journey together. So what is AI, and what's the big deal? Well, simply put, for those of you that don't understand it yet, AI is the simulation, and I'm going to underscore that word, simulation, of human intelligence by processes done by machines, especially computer systems. And it's been fueled by the growth of our tremendous computing and coding capacity, especially lately. And AI has advanced to the point where it can mimic things that normally were reserved for human intelligence, like understanding language, recognizing patterns, solving problems, and now even making decisions. What once seemed like science fiction is now a reality. AI is writing essays, it's composing music, it's diagnosing diseases, and even engaging in philosophical debates, probably mostly on the internet. But the big deal is that AI no longer is a fringe concept. Rather, after the advent of LLMs, which are large language models like ChatGPT, it's becoming a tangible force that has been quickly woven into the fabric of our daily lives. You probably are using AI every day and you don't know it. It's curating our news feeds, social media feeds. It's powering self-driving cars. It's powering your weather apps and all kinds of things on your phone, and you don't even know it, but it's here to stay. So, I think we must respect and study AI because it has the potential to change how we live, how we connect to each other, and how we understand ourselves. As Unitarian Universalists, we affirm a free and responsible search for truth and meaning. What truths might AI reveal, and what responsibilities must we shoulder as its creators and stewards? Thinkers like Nick Bostrom, who wrote Superintelligence, and Max Tegmark, who wrote Life 3.0, warn of a future where machines may surpass human intelligence entirely. Are we prepared to share this world with minds that we cannot fully control? More importantly, are we still the only sentient species? Well, good questions. We'll dive into that a little bit more. The journey of AI began in the 1950s, actually, when scientists first started developing programs that could simulate human reasoning. Over the decades, AI evolved from simple logic-based systems to machine learning. You've probably heard that term before, too. That's where computers can learn from vast amount of data and draw certain conclusions. Today, AI, as I mentioned, is embedded in our daily lives. It recommends movies, it filters our emails. I think most spam filters are actually powered by AI. But more than that, it can generate art today. It can write code and engage in creative tasks that were once the province solely of humans. AI challenges us to reconsider our uniqueness. Are we the only sentient life forms on the planet? If so, do we consider AI to be a life form? What is the difference between AI and the electronic impulses in my brain? Electronic impulses in a circuit are really the same thing, aren't they? What makes me a thinking being? As the philosopher Philip K. Dick once asked, do androids dream of electric sheep? I'm not sure that there are really any clear answers to this, unfortunately, but the trajectory, at least, is clear. AI is becoming more sophisticated, more integrated into our lives. But the real question is will AI help our lives, or will it destroy it? The philosopher Nick Bostrom, in his book Superintelligence, Paths, Dangers, and Strategies, warns that what we today call AI may one day become AGI, which is the term artificial general intelligence. And that's a superintelligence. That's the point at which I think we think of AI as becoming conscious. And that intelligence may surpass human intelligence in ways that we can't control or even predict today. The Bostrom book warns that if AI surpasses human intelligence, it could pursue its own goals, which might be misaligned with human values, and anyone who's seen the Terminator movies knows exactly where that ends. But before we get to the end of the world, let's first talk about the ways that AI may benefit humanity, because there are some. Like all technological advancements, AI has both promise and peril. According to the proponents of AI, it can revolutionize medicine, making diagnoses faster, more accurate, and even specific to your DNA, your history, your everything. It can develop treatment insights based on massive data sets, maybe all of humanity. And it can look at all kinds of historical precedents, and it can do it all in seconds. It can help address climate change by optimizing energy use and monitoring ecosystems. It can improve accessibility for people with disabilities. AI has the potential, and I again underscore the word potential, to reduce poverty, combat disease, promote environmental sustainability, and to create a more just, connected, and compassionate world. If true, then all of these things really align with our UU principles of justice, equity, and compassion in human relations. A 2023 report by the Pew Research Center suggests that AI-driven healthcare improvements could save millions of lives worldwide. Similarly, The Alignment Problem by Brian Christian explores how AI is learning to align with human ethics, but also highlights the dangers of uncritical adoption. Let's not be naive, though. AI has a potentially darker side. As I read the account of this in a book called The Coming Wave by Mustafa Suleyman, AI has been used for the first AI-powered assassination in 2020. The Israeli military created a high-powered sniper rifle with facial recognition, and it was used to carry out the world's first assassination with AI, which is terrible. Mass surveillance is another problem of AI. Humans are obviously limited in our resources and in what we can watch and monitor, but AI offers the potential of unchecked monitoring, which can threaten our own privacy and perhaps human dignity. Can't hide in the crowd anymore. Ecological harm is obviously a big threat of AI. I work for a company that makes green energy, so we're very, very cognizant of the power demand that AI is creating. The IEA predicts that power demand for AI will double by 2030 to 945 terawatt hours of electricity, which is a shocking number of power. I think what I read was something like a total of 12% of all US power will be going to AI by 2027. Misinformation is another threat. Deep fakes really erode our trust and fuel division in our society, and I think we've all seen that. And I learned recently at a security presentation that it only takes about 10 seconds of live footage to be able to create a deep fake, a credible deep fake of someone now using AI generative technology. In addition, automation may displace jobs, widen economic divides, and consolidate power in the hands of just a few. Algorithms also encode bias, as we know, and it was shown in Weapons of Math Destruction by Cathy O'Neill. The UU principle of the inherent worth and dignity of every person calls us to challenge these injustices every time we come across them. And I think a more interesting question about AI is that if AI handles our art, our books, and our music, what happens to human creativity? Where do we fit into that puzzle? Are we left to drone on and do the work that the AI doesn't want to do versus the other way around? I think that's something we need to think about too. The Vatican this year in January looked at this technological revolution and published a paper called Antiqua et Nova, which is Latin for old and new. The document was co-authored, and you guys are going to have to forgive me for the pronunciation of this word, the dicastery, I think, for the doctrine of faith, and the dicastery for culture and education. And they looked at it, and they offered a spiritual framework for approaching AI. And I really liked their approach because it calls for AI to be used to support human dignity. It warns against the use of things like autonomous weapons. It stresses the importance of maintaining the human element in education and healthcare, so we're not just going to go talk to the machine. And it raises concerns over privacy, misinformation, and the ecological impact. Its title, as I mentioned, meaning old and new, honors Pope Leo XIII's reflection on the Industrial Revolution, which was another time of upheaval. And it also brings up the reckoning of the digital transformation generally. As AI changes our society, how we live our lives, will it also impact our understanding of spirituality? Could AI generate a personalized religious experience? Imagine an AI that crafts prayers and selected meditations and offers spiritual counsel specifically tailored for your own beliefs. I think this is both intriguing, but also a little unsettling. Could AI challenge the way we think about God, or will it simply be another tool in our search for meaning? I often wonder, could AI generate new forms of religious text or create virtual deities from whole cloth? Maybe they'll believe exactly what I believe, right? Does AI cause us to question the nature of God? As Unitarian Universalists, we have no set dogma, which leaves us free to ask, is AI a tool we can use, or can it be a source of wonder and awe? Can AI help us understand consciousness? Can it help us understand the vastness of the universe? I look back historically to how religion and culture existed. For example, in ancient Rome, we always think of it as like a set pantheon of gods that the Romans believed in, right? But that wasn't really the case. In the Roman era, religion was sort of a loosely affiliated set of cults. Everybody had their own interpretations of what the Roman gods actually were, what they did. Can we use AI to maybe create something similar? Maybe the AI will create a specific set of religious beliefs just for the Houston Unitarians, or maybe like Boston Unitarians have a totally different view on what the faith and the religion is. But would an age of customized spirituality be a bad thing? As you use, we embrace diverse spiritual traditions. Could AI become a companion on this journey, or does it risk making faith transactional rather than transformational? Recent studies, such as Gods and the Machine by Ann Forrest, theologians explore whether AI can foster new forms of spirituality. In this book, Forrest, a theologian and a former research scientist at MIT's Artificial Intelligence Laboratory, explores the intersection of robotics, AI, and theology. Drawing from her experiences with humanoid robots like Cog and Kimset, Forrest delves into profound questions about human nature, personhood, and our relationship with theology and the divine. Ultimately, Forrest draws parallels between modern robotics and the Jewish golem legend, where human beings create things that reflect their own nature. It is important to note that in many of the golem stories, the creature runs amok, and the golem itself becomes a threat to its creator. Sounds familiar? This analogy serves to highlight the responsibilities and ethical considerations inherent in creating entities that can mimic human attributes. In Antiqua et Nova, the Vatican also warns that if AI is uncritically integrated into spiritual life, it may lead us to idolize machines, treating technology as a substitute for the sacred. Remember that commandment about the golden calves? I think the Catholics are worried about that one. This caution resonates with the Unitarian Universalist values to maintain spiritual discernment about and humility. While the Vatican's warning stems from a theistic framework, it does parallel our own commitment to resist dogma and to uphold the integrity of spiritual practice. Both traditions, though different in theology, urge careful reflection when confronting new forms of power and meaning. All right, well, speaking of creatures that may run amok and become a threat to all of human existence, AI has also become a big part of advancing synthetic biology. So I don't know if anyone has read about this yet, but synthetic biology is the ability to edit genes and selectively breed plants and animals, or even to alter DNA. The ability to create and alter life could help us solve some serious problems. For example, if we could make a bacteria that could break down plastics in our soil and our oceans, that could be incredibly helpful. But this also raises profound ethical questions. Can we use AI to improve humanity? Does humanity need to improve? Can we extend human life indefinitely? Would that be an improvement? After all, death is the only thing that makes life precious, right? Where do we draw the line between progress and playing God? Are we going back to an era of eugenics? Hopefully not. Another AI use that may inevitably follow from synthetic biology is parents selectively breeding to alter the characteristics of their unborn children. For example, to be male or female, or to be more fair-complected with blue eyes and straight with a cisgender identity. That could be a very scary future. As Unitarian Universalists, we affirm the inherent worth and dignity of every single person. How do we ensure that AI-driven genetic engineering is used ethically and equitably without perpetrating existing inequalities or creating new forms of discrimination? I think we must tread carefully, guided by our principles of justice, equity, and compassion. All right, now, dear friends, I have a confession to make. This sermon was written, in large part, with the assistance of AI. Did it pass the Turing test? The Turing test, which was proposed by Alan Turing, asked whether a machine is capable of thinking. Turing concluded that a machine is thinking when it can communicate in such a way that it is indistinguishable from another human. If you felt this sermon was thoughtful, meaningful, or even inspiring, then perhaps AI passed the test, at least in part. But here's my ultimate takeaway. This technology is going to evolve, and it will inevitably impact our knowledge, our lives, in ways that we cannot predict. Ultimately, this may even impact our own faith and how we define our own spirituality. But I think that we humans, and UUs, have an obligation to demand a code of ethics surrounding the use and adoption of artificial intelligence. AI should be something that we use only to enrich our lives, and not to define or replace the things that we love and the things that we love to do, like art and music and all of the creative aspects of human life. I believe we need to educate ourselves about the risks and opportunity of AI, and to help advocate for all of the people that are marginalized by AI as it gets rolled out into society. I don't think we can stop the AI revolution, but I think we can shape it. So let us, as Unitarian Universalists, lead the revolution and guide it not with fear, but with faith. Faith in our capacity for moral reason, for compassion, and for collective action. As UUs, we are called to affirm and promote the right of conscience and the use of the democratic process within our congregation and society at large. Let this principle inspire us to be active participants in shaping AI's future with justice and integrity, just as UUs have historically engaged in movements for civil rights, environmental stewardship, and technological equity, not with dogma, but with discernment, and not with blind hope, but with the sacred clarity of our shared principles. One last point from Antiqua et Nova. It calls on faith communities to resist idolizing technology. We must never trade our souls for silicon. Instead, let us shape AI with wisdom, with compassion, and with integrity. Let us educate ourselves. Let us advocate for justice and ensure that AI enriches rather than replacing our lives. I leave you with this prayer to the machine overlords. May they hear us. May we move forward with wisdom, curiosity, and hope. May we use AI not to replace our faith, but to deepen it. May we always remember that no matter how advanced technology becomes, it is our hearts and souls that define what it means to truly be human. Blessed be, and amen.